You know, everything depends. Every job you do for the government. One, the first thing is exposure. You've traveled around. You've seen what is obtainable. There is what we call standard. Standard is a measurement for progress. If you don't have standard, you cannot measure progress. If, for instance, Chamberlain have gone to Australia and he discovered that every Australian have basic free medical service. The idea of doing the national, for instance, the idea of doing the national health insurance scheme was like a social security in the health sector, a social intervention in the health sector to provide medical security. But what is the fund used for? A pregnant woman who goes to hospital is denied delivery because she couldn't pay money. She couldn't have a down payment. An accident victim, somebody does not have to pack money in his pocket when he's traveling. An accident victim rushed to an hospital, is refused treatment. That was the intervention. That was the purported or purposeful intervention of the National Health Insurance Scheme. The National Health Insurance Scheme has collapsed. We are not looking at it. And that is the worst corruption. Because the corruption that affects the National Health Insurance Scheme from doing those interventions for the poor Nigerians or for emergency cases have cost so much life. When corruption costs life, it is tied to system failure. For instance, as a senator, I was leading a campaign where we said corruption is a weapon of mass destruction. Because if you put money on a road and the road is not done and the vehicle drove into the pitch and some assault and you hear 16 people are dead, it's corruption that killed them. The corruption that the road was not well done.
So who do we blame in that case? The minister or the box stuff at the president's table?
Because the structure is not well done. You see, Chamberlain, when the framework is not well designed, everything fall off. And that is why when President Buhari come in and say, look, he's taking his time to appoint ministers. He wants to make sure the framework is done. I am praying and believing that the framework has been set up.
But from what you saw on the screening, would you say that they did anything differently from what you've seen in the years before, even while you were in the Senate? Was anything done differently?
Okay, people say, why are they asking them to take a bar and go? The ministerial nominees are not school children. For instance, you see, I anchor a lot of the screening on AIT. You'll see everybody is intelligent. Nobody is a fool. To be nominated a minister, of course, the president have seen that he has some substance in you. And anybody who has a substance in him must be able to answer one or two questions. And the ability to pass through the screening is the ability to answer question 1, 2, 3. Unlike, for instance, like somebody like Bode Augustus in some years under Obasanjo, when he said, we asked him, can you recite the national anthem or the pledge? And he said, okay, my 6-year daughter in the house would have answered the question. And that refused, and that was the reason why it was not cleared. I'm very sure you're aware. He wasn't cleared, and it was gone because he was responding to it as if it's oral question or something, a very cheap question was asked him. Everybody can answer this question. But what I'm trying to say is that the senators are not oracles. The senators are not ghosts to know that Maeba is competent Minister of Finance, that Chamberlain is competent Minister of Works, because the thorough job in the Senate are done through standing committees. And when anything that is done in the committee of the whole is like a ritual, ask question 1, 2, 3 to 10. Oh, the nominee have tried. Please take a bow and go. Because there's nothing to ask him anymore. There's nothing you expect from him anymore. The burden of proof, whether it will perform or not, is left with the ministerial nominee and the president.
But is there anything you'd like to see change from what was there? I know you talked about the portfolios. What else?
What?
Any part of the laws that you think should be altered?
No, you also have some issues. For instance, like there is a current impasse on a ministerial nominee, like Rotimi Amechi of River State. Now, the Senate have deferred screening. What is the issue? The issue is that River State government claimed that a Judicial Commission of Inquiry have indicted him. And you know, you have in the Constitution, normally, that to to be a minister, you must qualify to be a member of the House of Rep. Now, to be a member of the House of Rep, you are disqualified if you have been indicted by a judicial panel inquiry. It's constitutional. Okay. Yes, some senators said you are innocent, we are satisfied till you are convicted by a court of law. But if Buhari have the team of this administration, corruption must go. Corruption must go. What do you develop first? Zero tolerance to corruption. And what do you call zero tolerance? Zero tolerance means don't do it near me. I don't even want to hear you were involved. I don't even want to hear you participated. So if you send first a minister who have a trailblazer that, oh, corruption, 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 there is no smoke without fire. We all know Nigeria. Yeah. So what I expect the president to do is that any ministerial nominee to quit the public are shouting either in Lagos or either in Ushu or either in Sokoto. God, please, my dear, come.
Don't forget, there's also politics.
Right?
So
look,
the senators. Now let me bring this back.
Corruption in Nigeria is tied to politics.
No, I'm not talking about corruption.
The first aspect of corruption is the worst corruption in Nigeria is political corruption.
Let me bring in this part so you can respond to it as well as the point you're trying to make. The senators, they're representing the people. So if those allegations are there and they happen to be true, they're expected to submit them to the Senate. Well, in this case, the Senate Ethics Committee. So if, depending on what they agree, either they come up with a recommendation or they refer the matter to the Senate as a whole in the plenary, they will take that decision. So if that were to be the case and they take that decision, wouldn't you think that...
Have they taken the decision?
No, we're hypothetical.
Okay,
because it's going to be screened next
because I am aware of Senate Order 53.5 that says clearly that for any issue upon which a judicial interpretation is pending, the Senate shall stay away from it. The first report we have from the Ethics Committee is that, look, there's no Senate committee, even the Senate itself, because of the very strong pillars of the separation of power, is supposed to enter into a matter upon which a judicial interpretation is pending. If a committee cannot entertain it, then the Senate on the whole cannot also entertain it.
If the committee cannot?
A Senate committee cannot decide on any matter upon which a judicial interpretation is pending. And the Senate itself, by extension, can also not interfere.
That is where it is pending.
Yes, where it's pending. Where judicial interpretation is pending.
So what's going to happen in this case? Are they going to, because there are some other reports that say there's no such report anywhere. So what would the committee do? Would they go ahead and investigate?
Well, what I know, without taking it personal, I'm aware that the Rivers State government have a gazetted report from a judicial panel of inquiry. Gazetted means it is either state government, either federal government gazette is a gazette. Anything gazetted, and it's legal because the chairman of that panel is a justice of the High Court. And I take time to read through the Judicial Panel Act, which even say that a decision from the Judicial Panel cannot be challenged in a High Court unless appealed. Because it's like if it's been done by a High Court. So what I'm trying to say is that the president's image now is very high. And I also not advise that because of issues of political compensation for loyalty, he slaughtered the integrity and the expectations of Nigerians and the overwhelming support of Nigerians on where he stands about corruption. Because the first thing we have as a problem in the country, everybody knows, is corruption. If we minimize corruption, there will be more money to plug into social provisions that will make life meaningful for Nigerians.
All right, Senator Maeba, thank you for coming on today.
Thank you.
Well, that's the show today. We thank you all for watching, and what a time it's been reporting to you from Abuja. We'll be back next time. My name is Chamberlain Osof.
Well, thank you for your numerous comments. Such a pity we can't take anyone. Well, thank you, Amaokwe Ogun.
It's been wonderful being here. Many thanks for watching. Sulaiman Lede.